talking about?
I would like to ask Gail and Oprah, why is it they insist on talking about our black men who have been either acquitted or have had their cases dismissed, yet they won't speak on their boy Harvey Weinstein when it comes to his allegations?
This is Charlotte from Compton. I'm really saddened about what Gayle King said or asked Lisa Leslie. I just, sometimes I can't find the words. I know what she said. I'm going to ask the hard questions. I'm not going to hold back. Girl, bye. Bye, Gayle.
Some people got a little stirred up about Nick. You know, I got to ask you, man, what were people saying about that?
I mean, everybody was upset. People were ticked off, obviously, because it was so incredibly disrespectful, not only to the memory of Kobe Bryant, but to his living children and his wife, his parents, you know, his sisters, the gentleman you had in this room that knew Kobe. And then Lisa Leslie. I mean, first of all, Lisa Leslie is a real MVP because the way she handled that with such dignity and class, and you could tell she was still hurt behind that because that was truly her friend. But also, I think Lisa really restrained herself and didn't go Inglewood on Gayle as she could have. And I think that was an incredible amount of strength, but it was incredibly disrespectful. It wasn't necessary. I mean, that happened 17 years ago, and Kobe has an older daughter, and you know her friends are all on social media. So what does that say? How do you think she's going to have to deal with that? How do you think Vanessa is going to have to deal with that and his family, especially when a man was found not guilty? There was no evidence against him. And also, let's not forget, that woman that accused him of sexual assault was on schizophrenia medication. So she was schizophrenic when she made the report initially. And we all know about the evidence that was found that was not belonging to Kobe Bryant. So to even bring that up, especially the man is not even in the ground yet, for God's sakes. I mean, there's an outpouring of love and support. And just as we heard tonight on this great program about people reminiscing about the great times of Kobe Bryant, about the great things that he said or that he did. I mean, look what he's done across Los Angeles. I mean, with homelessness and what his wife and him did with homelessness and making sure that young teens who were homeless made sure they had a place to stay. I mean, he went all over with basketball courts across black and brown communities, making sure the kids had a place to play. When I was at an event a week before his passing, he was so engaged about being a part of the MLS, and we already know what he did with Body Armor, and he was an investor in Body Armor and what Body Armor was doing, but he was more engaged in making sure the kids had the proper nutrition, had the proper aspects in order for them to compete on a high level as much as he competed on a high level. So Kobe Bryant, I mean, he donated, I believe, $1 million to the Debbie Allen Dance Academy that did not go publicized. There were plenty of things that he's done. I mean, with the Boys and Girls Club in South LA many, many years ago, how he, did some work there. So there were a lot of things that you could have talked about when remembering Kobe Bryant. Those questions were inappropriate. They were foul. And, Gayle deserves every bit of backlash, especially with that BS apology that she gave and trying to blame the network and pass the buck when if there was no question that you asked, there would be no cut up. You know that, Aundrae, being in this business as long as you have, things are being cut up, but you have to actually say something for things to be cut up. So stop trying to insult our intelligence and think that everybody's stupid but you.
Nick Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, getting it said. All right. Hey, Damon Haley is here. Damon, you worked with him a lot of times. We talked earlier about the video of you cutting birthday cake and presenting with a birthday cake. He was great with kids. He loved kids, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kobe loved people. He loved young people, old people. He was really about maximizing human potential, be it athletically, be it your skill, your craft, or intellectually. So it's interesting because when you go back to when Nick shared 17 years ago, which is kind of like when I met him, the guy has evolved, and every step of the way, he's been able to maximize his platform, from being a Nike athlete, being a member of the Lakers, and coaching, his daughter, and not to mention, not just here in North America. This is a guy who was down in South America around the World Cup. This is a guy who can go to the continent of Europe and speak the 5 languages to be able to affect people. And he had a foundation in China because the dude ended up learning Mandarin along the way. So we're not talking about just your regular run-of-the-mill guy. We're talking about probably our first true team sport global athlete, because he can go to all these different continents, speak the language, be cultured, because he just, he's not like us. He just ain't North America guys or U.S. guys from the city, so to speak. He had a hunger, a curiosity that was off the chart, and he drove young people to explore themselves. I mean, Eric, my brother, also showed me a clip of him boxing out a 15-year-old, brutalizing him. Really? He was that kind of guy. He didn't care. He didn't care. But it really wasn't about him and his superiority. It was about tapping into yourself to see how good you can possibly be. And everybody who's crossed his path knows that's what he was about, and that's what he gives to little kids, grown men, grown women, everybody in his circle. So, that's what I found in him to just be, like I said, I spent a lot of time in China. The way he has affected those kids over there in the sport, and him and Yao Ming working together, to advance basketball. And like I said, is a dude who can also kick a soccer ball. Wow. And can intellectually joust with the best of us.
Now, that's something I want to ask all three of you guys. You could jump in however you want. It was amazing. The guy didn't even go to college, and he was so smart and brilliant, it seemed like.
Well, I think it goes back to, again, his childhood, and that he had the fortune of growing up internationally, and he carried that throughout his life. And, you really got the true essence of Kobe whenever they had the All-Star game. And I think if you guys have been to the All-Star game, the international media there is just unbelievable. And they would always surround Kobe because they knew if they interviewed Kobe, he's going to speak in their native tongue. And again, this is like you said, this is a different guy. Sometimes college it's absolutely necessary. I think everyone should have the benefit of a college degree. Advanced education can help you go forth in life. But sometimes you also need that education from experience and being there with boots on the ground. And I think Kobe had that, not only as a child in growing up in Italy, but also as an adult going to China, as you said, and really learning the culture. So he's a very cultured person.
Yeah, I think when you look at Kobe Bryant, I've always said education goes beyond 4 walls, and he definitely exemplified that to the T. When you talk about him being cultured globally, this is a global icon that everybody lost. This is the guy that stopped time when we found out he was no longer with us. But while he was here, he was also cultured in Los Angeles. And if you recall, when the Trayvon Martin situation happened, when his parents came out here to Crenshaw High, and Kobe was right there with his wife and also Nipsey Hussle. And they formed an alliance as well at that time to bring awareness to not only Trayvon Martin's situation, but situations that were like Trayvon Martin. And Kobe really ingratiated himself into the LA culture. And I think that's when a lot of people started seeing him even more different than what they thought he was. When you look at what Kobe represented, not just beyond basketball or beyond trying to build a brand, but he represented the people. And he had a very large Latino following as well that surrounded Kobe. People would fight you over Kobe Bryant. You talk bad about Kobe. I remember the last Laker parade that I was at, and it was a beautiful thing because, as Jim Hill mentioned earlier in your show, how Kobe has brought everybody together. But when we had Laker parades, all you saw was 24 jerseys. And how much the Lakers and Kobe brought the city together. We were all one team. We were all one family, much like how we are now with his passing. And I think that's something that his legacy will continue on for many, many generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and LT mentioned his curiosity. I know when I met him, he was a young guy, and it did strike me. So think about it. That's the public address announcer saying Kobe's curious. So just imagine all the other people around that he had the smarts and intelligence to learn.
Right.
And he had the want and desire to figure it out. It made me think about when I met him, we were talking about just who I was, and he was like, what kind of stuff do you learn at Berkeley? I heard it's a good school. What kind of, and we would get into those types of conversations, and I'd say, well, you probably need to talk to your accountant. But he's like, but what do you mean about, he just had a constant quest. I remember we were in China, we were walking around, and he was just like, okay, so D, how does all of this work? Mm-hmm. I mean, those type of open-end questions. Nike was doing something, and he said, how much did that cost, David? He just had that quest. And it's funny because that one question he said about how much that cost led to the Mamba Academy that he had out in Thousand Oaks. So he really transformed conversations into knowledge. And that, and I'm a college dude, I got all that, but he still had, as Sean said, this global view. He has something special about learning, but he also didn't have he had the appreciation, but he applied it in everything that he did, which was special.
Wow. I got my man Nick Hamilton here, Sean Powell, Damon Haley is with us, and three of the sharpest brothers I know. And right now, one thing we haven't talked about was how Kobe was really into women's basketball, and of course with his daughter Gigi. So I got the female Kobe Bryant in here, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to bring her to the mic. She was a 5'10" point guard, and she played at Cal State, San Bernardino, and then later she was an Arizona Wildcat. Could have gone to the WNBA, but she's like, I'm tired. I want to do other stuff. Anyway, Maya Hassan is with us. Hey, Maya, go ahead and put those on so you can. How you doing, Maya?
I am all right, Andre. How are you?
Good. Tell me this. What did Kobe mean to women's basketball? What do you think he did for women's basketball?
Kobe overall to me was he was just one of those people that he was a fan. He respected the game. To me, before his daughter and everything, he always, every time you saw him, you see him watching women's basketball intensely, like he was, it was like an NBA game. So the appreciation that he had for women's basketball kind of helped. It kind of helped steer other people in that direction. I mean, honestly, women's basketball doesn't really get the respect that it should get. The women we're in there and you're playing your heart out. And the way Kobe played, he played in a way that it wasn't like specifically something that only men could do. He played basketball the way basketball was supposed to be played. It was something that like anybody could respect the game. Anybody could respect his game and look at it and say, I could play like that. A woman could say, I could play like that. Like he had everything about him. It was just like, it wasn't like, oh, he's doing so much that, I wish we could do that. I wish we could play like that. Like, no, you watch and you felt like you could play like him. He left everything out on the floor. He played his butt off every time, and you sat and you watched it like, I want to play like that. I want to, and you did. You could see his work ethic and everything just in a game. You didn't have to be with him daily to see his, how hard he worked and how much he loved the game. And it just kind of made you want to, play just as hard and be like that. And maybe you couldn't dunk, but that's okay. That's how it seemed like to me. He was a fan in it. And as a woman, having somebody like Kobe appreciate what you do was such a big deal, because not too many people appreciate it. And the little diamonds and gems that he'd help in WNBA players with and college players with, they were such just gems. Like, it's like you felt like you couldn't get anything like that anywhere else. Somebody like that was, it just meant the world. Like, and it sucks because he was just getting started with it. Now that when he had Gianna playing, and, it was like me and my dad, when we used to travel and go all over the place with these games, he's got this girl. Now he's like being able to mold, young girls to how he played. And that would have brought up a whole new generation of women playing, just like him. Like, it's not like he had to tweak anybody's game. He was molding them, and all of those girls with his Mamba Academy and everything, it would have been, it would have been insane.
I think it still will be. I think it'll still go on. I think the legacy will carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being able to cover the WNBA for the last 9-10 years, watching Kobe come to the Sparks games with his daughter, and later on with his daughter, and kind of just teaching. You could see he was teaching her as he was watching the game. And when you saw players like Diana Taurasi, he would come out for Jewel Lloyd, who was a part of Seattle Storm. You would watch Maya Moore come in, Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, and several players like that he would really focus in on and kind of watch Elena Delle Donne. And so when you saw players like that, they would kind of get up. And if they knew Kobe was in the building, they would kind of get up their game a little bit more. But it drew something. It pulled something out of it. With just his presence being there, it pulled so much out of those young ladies that fight night in and night out on the court. When you watch the ladies that I mentioned, and even I'm trying to remember the young lady for the Dallas Wings that came out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We
almost had her on with us tonight.
Yeah, hopefully she comes to LA, by the way. I hope she comes to LA. But I mean, Kobe just had that presence about him. And he wanted you to be great, no matter what it was, no matter what position you played. He just wanted you to be great at it. And like I said, when I would talk to Jewel Lloyd, when she would come down here with the Seattle Storm, I mean, it seemed like she got up. I mean, her number is 24 for a reason, because she looked up to Kobe. That was the gold Mamba. Diana Taurasi was the white Mamba. So there was just so many different versions of the Mamba and the Mamba mentality that you saw with the women's basketball game. And God rest her soul, Gianna, in 10 years, Gianna would have changed. If the WNBA would still be around in 10 years, Gianna would have changed the game forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it'll still happen. I think this legacy is going to create some amazing things that are going to grow, and you're going to see the game grow and women's basketball grow and everything. Sean, I've been trying not to ask you this question, man, but I got to ask. I tell you, you covered them all. You covered Michael Jordan. You covered Kobe Bryant. I'm not going to say who was the best, but what were the similarities? Were they that much alike, the similarities in their game?
Well, they never cheated their teammates, their coaches, the teams they represented, and they never cheated the fans. Michael was famous for saying that he played his hardest in a city because he wasn't sure if there might be a kid in the stands who never saw him play. And it's for the first time he's going to see Michael Jordan play, and he wanted to leave that kid or that father or that mother with a positive, experience. So, the greats don't take nights off. And that goes beyond sports too. You can go into business, you can go in the medical field, whatever. The greats don't take nights off. And I don't think they're wired that way. So if I had to pinpoint a common thread with Michael, Kobe, and maybe a few others, it's that they gave you your best. And that's really what we want from athletes. Give your best every night, and they did.
Absolutely. Celebrating Kobe is on 102.3 KJLH. So many great journalists and athletes and coaches have been coming in and calling in. Let's go out to the IE area, the Inland Empire, and my man Gary George is joining us. Gary, how you doing, brother?
Great show, great interviews, and a lot of good information that's going out in honor of Kobe Bryant, the great Black Mamba.
Yes, sir. Gary's a great sports writer and reporter in IE. What's the name? I don't have my notes in front of me, Gary. What's the name of your paper again?
Inland Valley News, publisher Talise Morrill and Emeritus Tommy Morrill.
Right. Inland Valley News. Now, Gary, you've been around the NBA for a long time as well, and you had a lot of, the other day you was telling me a lot of great stories about Kobe that you, personal stories. Give me one of those right now.
Well, I have a lot. I started covering the Lakers around 2009, and it was a start of a back-to-back championship run, starting with, Orlando Magic, and they beat them. Dwight Howard was the key person there. Then Boston Celtics, they had Paul Pierce and company. But, that game that they defeated Boston in L.A. was tremendous game. All of the fans were excited. And it was just amazing to see Kobe lead the team to victory. The thing I remember that was most touching was this. At the podium, Kobe was there, and the press was interviewing him. And he brought his little girls, Natalia and Gigi. And his wife was sitting next to me in the front row taking their pictures. What a touching moment, I remember. And because I was next to Vanessa, I waved at the little girls, and Gigi waved back because I was next to her mother. That was touching, just to think, wow, Kobe loved his children so much. He brought them up there, as many players do. But it was just a touching memory now that they have gone. And so the great things still happen after that. And there's just many stories. That was one of the stories I remember, because of the timeliness of what we're dealing with in Kobe's going on home, we believe, to be with the Lord and the family. So that was one of the stories. I have many other stories. I had an opportunity when they went to see President Obama in Washington, D.C. The year that they went in 2010, they didn't go to the White House. They went to the Greater Boys and Girls Club of Washington. And so they were able to share with the community and other children to share that greatness. Because when you're around Kobe, it's like an umbrella of greatness. It's just we know in the churches, we call it the anointing. Well, the Bible says a man's gift will make a way for him. And Kobe certainly had that gift, and he used it to his excellent benefit. Kobe, as well, was a smart guy. One of the things in the press, we see things that, the press could be very, very challenging. And Kobe would check anyone who might answer a disdainful question or, condescending or whatever, but he would keep it in check. And there's a lot of young athletes out there that are going to be interviewed. But one thing that Kobe did, he was not only on the court, but off the court. He was very cerebral and very intelligent. And we learned a lot from that. He made everyone around him greater, even the press writers and interviewers. So those are just a couple of my stories with Kobe.
Right. I got to tell you guys, a couple of people that really wanted to be here tonight and couldn't. Nick Van Exel was one. I saw Nick. We talked the other night, and he's traveling today, and he couldn't make it. He's scouting for, I believe, the Dallas Mavericks is who he's scouting for now. And the other person was Doc Rivers, and you guys all know Doc. And Doc was crying like a baby last week. I'm sure you saw. Were you surprised? That wasn't even one of his players, but that shows you the impact Kobe had on the other folks. What did you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think, one, Doc is a man's man, and Doc has been around the league forever, as a player and coach. And I do believe him when he said he was developing a good relationship from being in L.A. I can see that. I can visualize that because, I've been around MJ and I've been around Kobe, and it's just something when they've been out of the league for a while, they do become better men. I don't want to say soft, but their guard is down.
Right.
MJ's the same way nowadays. But when you're in the mix, and I think that Kobe himself, just going out and being like a ambassador for greatness and with the NBA. And like I said, I know how Doc is, and they battled, with the Bostons and Clippers and all that. So I can truly see that, and it just was a shock, and to a guy that you would just think that would be around tomorrow. So I can easily see Doc because I've spent time with Doc as well. So I think he's a guy, like he's a man's man, and was deeply hurt. I think it was authentic. He was deeply hurt and sad.
Jim Hill and I, and amongst other guys, we were talking one night before a Laker game, and I bet I speak for all you guys. I haven't cried that much in a long time, man. I mean, it brought tears. It made men cry. And like Jim Hill kept saying, it's okay to cry. It's okay for men to cry. And I was like, wow, because I was thinking, what's going on? It was like 4 or 5 days, every day. I see something sad, or it made me think about him. And when Usher last Friday night made everybody cry, Yeah. But that was quite a night. Gary, where were you when you found out the tragedy had happened? What were you doing on that Sunday morning?
I was at church, and all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls. My sister calls me. I said, what do you need, money? But she called me, and she don't normally call me at that time. And then I had sports reporters and photographers calling. I said, wait, something's up. So I step out of church and check it out. She said, Kobe died. I said, nah, come on. So I'm going on to look on the news checking my phone, but I couldn't find anything. Finally, on Facebook, it was all over there. And so that was a moment. It's like, this can't be happening. You know what I mean? It's just like, is this for real? And shortly thereafter, it was confirmed. But that's where I was.
Wow. Maya, what about you? What were you doing when you heard about this?
Oh, gosh. I had just woke up. And when I woke up, I just looked at, you scroll on social media. And they were just talking about how LeBron had just passed him. And I'm thinking, okay, that's dope, I know. And then I saw a comment that said, isn't it crazy that he passes away the next day after he congratulated him and everything? And I'm thinking, wait, what? No. Who jokes like that? And I'm trying to scroll to see who else, like somebody's going to check this person. Who jokes about that? And I couldn't find anything saying like, no, everybody was trying to confirm it. And then I just looked it up and I just see it all over the place now. And now I'm just like, and it was the worst day, the most just unreal day, unreal time for me and my whole family.
Right. Sean, what is Kobe saying right now, looking down at all this attention going on? What's
it's interesting you asked that question because I was just thinking that. He probably, I don't know if there are any words. The range of emotions, the impact, I would have to think back to maybe Roberto Clemente, or maybe Thurman Munson. Both were taken down in their primes, very catastrophic, very sudden.
Both plane crashes.
Yes. However, that didn't take place in the era of social media and 24-hour news.
Right.
When you look at Kobe and why there's such a ripple effect, you have to take several things into account. Number one, he was still a young man. Number two, it was a horrific crash. Number three, he had his daughter with him. Number four, he was a great player. I mean, don't discount that. In society, we judge people on greatness. It's plain and simple. Even though all lives are created equal, he was a great player. And it also took place in the social media age. When you put all that together, this is what you get. And I would love to know what he's thinking right now. I mean, first of all, he would be, I'm sure, overwhelmed. I don't think he would have the words. He found the words on his retirement night to say to the fans, but I don't think he would have the words to express himself now.
Damon, is he blushing like when you guys gave him the cake?
I think he would be blushing. I do think so.
No, I'm going to go ahead.
No, I think he would be when I think about just this type of attention that he can't. I wouldn't say control, but he creates in a way that wasn't meant for him to create. It's not like going out and scoring and being celebrated by something he worked 6 days out of the week, 6 hours a day, all that, that Mamba mentality. I think he would be blushing a little bit. I got through it because I kind of think the Kobe I know will want me to get tough. You'll want me to be tough. You want me to figure out something else and go out there and do something. So I think after the blushing, he would be like, okay, get off your butt and do something now.
Nick,
finish it for me.
Right. Nick, what would Kobe be saying if he's looking down right now? What would his thoughts be?
I think he would be happy that people gave him his roses while he could smell them. I mean, the farewell tour, his last season, where we heard the speech that he gave in his final game, he dropped 60. I think I have to agree with everybody on the panel. I think he would be overwhelmed with joy. I think he would be cheesing from ear to ear. I think that when you look at what everybody did, I'm just as a fan, as a person that was fortunate enough to even talk to him or cover him. Just looking at what his impact, I think, is absolutely amazing. And I'm glad that everybody gave him his flowers while he was here, and now we're even giving him even bigger roses while he's gone and remembering the impact and the legacy that he left behind. And I think he would be absolutely outdone by this outpouring of love and support for him.
A lot of late night television had things to say about him. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Ellen DeGeneres. This is what they had to say about Kobe Bryant.
5 NBA titles, 2 Olympic gold medals, 18 All-Star appearances, one of the most brilliant and most respected players in NBA history. And when we'd run into each other over the years, we'd laugh about that night that we first met. We'd laugh at all the good things that had happened since. And we'd laugh about how much fun it was to raise kids and all the stupid mistakes we made trying to figure out how to be good dads. And Kobe had 4 daughters, and I had 2 daughters. And today, he and one of his girls are gone. But I think I knew Kobe enough to know that he rose to any challenge by digging deeper and getting back to work. So let's honor Kobe, Gianna, and the other lives that were lost yesterday by following his example. Love your family, love your teammates, and outwork everyone else in the gym.
Everything changed in a second. And that's what I want to talk about. Life is short and it's fragile. And we don't know how many birthdays we have. So we don't have to have a birthday to celebrate. Just celebrate life. And if you haven't told someone you love them, do it now. Do it. Tell people you love them. Call your friends, text your friends, hug them, kiss them.
I had many conversations with Kobe off of television, and they always involved his daughters, always. Once he retired from basketball, his life revolved around their lives. He was very proud of them. He loved being a father. He loved his family. He worked very hard, and he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people in the city, and we're going to miss him. This was a terrible loss for those families and for the Lakers, for Kobe's teammates, for his fans. It's just, there's no silver lining here. It's all bad. It's all sad. He was a bright light, and that's how I want to remember him.
Broadcasting from the 1-800 The Law 2 studios. We're live and we're celebrating Kobe tonight. I'm Aundrae Russell. Great guest in the studio right now with me is Maya Hassan, Sean Powell, Nick Hamilton, Gary George is on the phone. Damon Haley is here. And we're celebrating Kobe Bryant. And Gary, we're going to let you go, man. But before you do, give us one more little short Kobe story, because you had a lot of them the other night when we were talking.
Well, let's see. I think I did a video on him when the Clippers honored him. And I asked him a question. I said, Kobe, what has been the most impactful moment of your tour as your exit tour? And so he mentioned Philadelphia, because that's where he grew up. And also the people that worked there when he returned were still there, some of them. And he said, this were the ones that I would sneak in to get into the place. And the other question I asked him was, how was his girls enjoying and all of the gratitude and the things that he was receiving from everyone? And he says, you know what? My girls, they understand the work that I put in. At 6 a.m, they come with me and, you know, they see what I do. So when I'm on the court, it translates to success. And so they understood that because they watched their father work the work. And so that was really, really a touching moment. As you can see, I have a video. I'll send it to you. And it was just amazing to see what Kobe would do and to inspire not only his family, but everyone around him. So he was a great guy. He was a gift from God, as we all are.
All right. Gary George from the Inland Valley News, thank you for joining us, brother, and God bless you. And we'll see you at the games. Lakers, Clippers, Sparks. We'll see you around, brother.
Okay, thanks. God bless everyone.
All right. Take care, Gary. And Maya, you were saying you didn't know if it was going to, you thought it might, hamper women's basketball, the growth that he's created because he's gone. I think it's going to add to it. I really do.
Honestly, I mean, I think it is. It's just kind of like, it's hard to believe that it stopped. That's my, that it just cut off kind of right in the beginning. He's given a lot to a lot of the players, but he's, it's just like it had to abruptly stop. And, who knows what else he could have, because she was a true student of the game. And he sat and he'd study everything. He'd go back and change things that he felt like he had to change every year. he came back and you could see what he was working on in his game, what he'd been working off in the off season. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I feel like, you know, with women, it's like I know he had so much more to teach. And it's just, you know, it's like, what can you do? What are you going to do? What can you really think in that point?
Absolutely. We're celebrating the Black Mamba. We want to take some calls. You guys brave enough to take some live calls with me?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. 520-KJLH. 520-KJLH. A lot of folks have been holding on for a long time. Hello, what's your name? Hello, you there? Nobody there? KJLH, hello? Hello. You know what? Let's do this. Let's dedicate this one to Kobe. We're back with your calls next. 102.3 KJLH, celebrating Kobe Bryant tonight. And I want to thank all of my wonderful guests that's been here and that's still here and that's still to come, all right? We're having a party tonight. We're celebrating Kobe. We're not, like you said, the Mamba wouldn't want us to keep on just being sad forever, right? Mm-hmm. All right? We're taking your calls at 520-KJLH, 520-KJLH. Let's go to Hickory, North Carolina. And Jeremy Little. Jeremy, how you doing? You're on with us. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm still taking all this in. You know what's going on.
You were a big Kobe fan, I take it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I grew up, Bulls and Lakers fan, but I always had the utmost respect for what Kobe brought to the court.
Mm-hmm.
The utmost respect. So,
my man, what were you doing last week 2 weeks ago in North Carolina when you found out about the tragedy?
Man, I'm in a bike club. I'm in Rough Riders, and we was at a meeting, and our president kind of interrupted the meeting, like, "Yo, Kobe died," and what? Like everybody in the meeting the meeting kind of stopped for like 5 minutes. Everybody pulled their phones out, and but that's where I was.
Wow, Jeremy, thanks for checking in from Hickory, North Carolina, brother. We appreciate it. All right, hey. Gail, hello, you're on with us. Hi, Gail.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm blessed.
Good. What's your comment about Kobe, Gail?
Well, I just want to dedicate this poem to him.
Right, you have a poem?
Yes, it's called Success of Life.
Okay. It's short now, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's hear it.
What is success of life, I pray? Is it the wealth that we possess, of treasures hoarded day by day? Is that success of life, you say? What do you call success of life? Is it to have a pleasant home, a cheerful and devoted wife? Is that success, you say, of life? All these real true things may not be the real true life success. They dwindle in a moment's span. The earthly things that we possess are not the real true life success. Success of life is to array and deck your heart with robes divine, that when you pass this earthly clay, your soul shall find eternal days. Gilbert Michael.
All right, Gail. My judges say. All right. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for the call. Nice. I think Paula had a poem as well. Paula, hello. Are you there?
Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
You said you had a poem dedicated to Kobe as well, right?
I do.
Let's hear it.
All right. It's a tribute to Black Mamba, a sympathy poem written and recorded for Vanessa Bryant, family, the NBA, Lakers Nation, celebrities and media, and the rest of you, entitled, I'm Still Here. I'm still here to tell you all a little bit about the impact of my helicopter fall. When my pilot started circling around and around, I knew then that we were not coming back down, not even returning back to our fam, because now where we are, in the arms of the one and only I am. I'm still here.
All right.
Mamacita 2, where the other 8 that were identified, they were called home too. I'm still here in spirit and can feel how much love that you all have shown. It makes my spirit happy, and for me to leave one strong. Everywhere I turn around, I see a picture of my face and with my daughter Gigi, which makes this place an amazing place. I'm still here, and I'm wearing my jersey number 24. And that's how many hours a day, Shaquille, my big brother, that I can walk through heaven's door. I'm still here, trying to figure out the hustle. It would be nice right now if I could talk to my brother, Aundrae Russell. I'm still here, and suddenly everything is so silent. I hear music coming from way up above. Sounds like something from Snoop Dogg's Bible of Love. Sunshine, let the sun shine in. I'm still here, and Ellen DeGeneres. Always remember the number 8. And every year that you have a birthday, we will celebrate. I'm still here. So congrats again, Big King, LeBron James. You can go ahead and poke about me not being a joke. So hold down the fort like I did on the court. I'm still here, Lakers, my teammates. Stand real tall like Kareem and play your best like Jerry West. And put a little championship in your nest. I'm still here. So if you didn't hear your name mentioned, that's okay. I love you too, the way I love the game. I'm still here, and I'm going to look over my wife and children just like a hawk. Because Jim Hill, when Vanessa starts stressing, that means she needs to take a chill and a family walk. I'm still here, and I'll see you guys soon, because I'm inducted in the Hall of Fame with my new jersey saying 77. That's what Kobe meant. The Black Mamba. I'm headed to the Middle East, so keep the peace.
All right, Paula, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. A lot of people got poems. That just shows you a lot of people just really loved Kobe Bryant.
Well, you know, it's I would love to know everything that was scribbled on those basketballs and those poster boards that piled up in the days after Kobe passed
at LA Live.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, the heartfelt messages, because people felt that a member of their family died. Mm-hmm. And that's when you really write from the heart. Mm-hmm. And I just would have loved to have read what was inscribed on those balls.
Absolutely. So going forward, Damon, what are your thoughts? How are people gonna handle this? How long are people gonna grieve about this?
I think it's a couple things. One is the season is still in, and it's some unfinished business. Probably a tremendous amount of pressure on the 15 players on the Lakers team to bring home a championship for Kobe. I think that's what we all want. That would make us feel better. As Nick shared, a parade would help it. I think until we get the parade, it's always going to be lingering in our thoughts. So I think if we get a parade that 3rd or 4th week of June, I think that will be the time when all of us can move forward. I think that's collectively as a city, and as you know, I'm a Laker fan as well. But for me individually, it's funny. It was over. The grieving was actually over Sunday night for me, because my wife shared the news with me. She just showed me on her phone, and I thought it was TMZ until I got all other, stuff. And I just said, hey, let's stop what we're doing and go grab a bite, because, just the hustle of life. And I just enjoyed a dinner with my wife, and that dinner was a hamburger because I don't eat hamburgers and not think about Kobe Bryant, because 1 July we were doing a project, and I thought he was upset at me, and he was upset at one of his teammates and questioned his commitment to win a championship because he was eating burgers and fries in July. And so whenever I can't even have burgers and fries and enjoy them without thinking about Kobe. But I do think as a community, I think that parade would be nice.
Absolutely.
It would be nice.
Damon Haley joining us tonight, of course, formerly with Nike, and did so many things with Kobe, brother. I appreciate you being here, Damon. You're my man.
Only family. For you, brother.
Absolutely. And of course, Nick Hamilton's always family. He's always here. Nick, I appreciate your contribution tonight, man. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you for having me. Anytime you need me, you know, I'm a phone call away. So
man,
it's all good.
It's been almost 4 hours, and I feel like I wanted to go 2 or 3 more because we still got more folks to get on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, my brother Sean Powell. Sean, you know I appreciate you, brother, and all what you bring to the industry, and as well as tonight.
My pleasure, man. Anytime.
This guy is a legend, y'all. If you don't know him in the room, this brother's covered Super Bowls, NBA Finals, Olympics.
Calm down.
Let me ask you, World Series, I'm sure, right? I didn't. Have you covered the World Series?
I did all Derek Jeter's championships, but who's counting?
See? Oh, yeah. Just Derek Jeter. Yeah, see how I do it.
Wow.
True story, I used to read I love USA Today. And I used to always say, this guy, Sean Powell, man, I love his articles. One day when I met him about 2 years ago, I wanted to ask for his autograph, man. I was like, you Sean Powell from USA Today?
Please.
Yeah, when he introduced himself, I was like,
Damon,
Sean Powell.
Damon,
but
don't
then when I
this.
said, I clicked in and said, oh, man, you're a legend. You're a legend,
Yeah,
man.
when we met in the backstage, but I saw him during the week when we go to Lakers practice. I'm like, this dude looks mad familiar, but I can't put the face with the name. And then somebody said his name. I'm like, that's who it is.
Yep.
Okay.
That's him.
And that's the legend. That's the legendary man right there.
Own it.
Hey.
All right, brothers, we're going to change up a little bit. I'm going to play this right here. And then once again, thank all you guys for being here. All right. This is KJLH and the celebration for Kobe.
KJLH Compton, Los Angeles. We will always remember the great Kobe Bryant.
I want to be the best.
KJLH celebrates our Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Right now until 10 p.m.
As we go commercial free and pay tribute to Kobe Bryant. Join Aundrae Russell as we pay tribute to the one and only Kobe Bryant. KJLH celebrates Kobe Bryant.
Right now until 10 p.m.
102.3 KJLH.
Mamba out.
This is 102.3 KJLH and the celebration of Kobe. Guys, don't leave. I'll be done in a few. Look, all these great brothers hanging out tonight. And look, we had Silas White is in the building, a legend. I thought I lost you, man.
No, man, I was in the back hanging.
Just there.
With all the rest of the family.
Silas, tell everybody, well, you manage everybody in the industry, but tell everybody who you are and what you do, man.
Silas White, manager. Pretty cool job. Been in business for 30 years. All the Justin Timberlake, Brian McKnight, Byron Scott, Chauncey Billups.
And
keeps going.
And you knew the Black Mamba, of course.
Yes, I did. I actually put him in one of his first videos. So if you guys go back and find it, there's a song called Hold Me with that we did with Brian McKnight, and Kobe actually showed up with the suit on. So it's very interesting that even at that time, he had wanted to have his own chef, and he wasn't doing it to be a prima donna. He was just getting ready for the season. So that's what was cool that I found out. He was so excited and he was so prepared, even at 20 years old, that he was like, okay, I got to make sure I'm eating properly and getting ready. But it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Also, my man Jay Ticker is here, of course, founder of the Ticker Report media company and podcast. And you've done all kind of stuff. Tick, thank you for being here. Jay Ticker, thank you for being here, brother.
In the building, but thank you so much for having me. I mean, this is a great time to be around people that I really love, and thank you.
Now, for your generation, Kobe was your Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kobe was exactly what the story says. Is it Dear Basketball? When we turn around, we do the fadeaway jump shot. That's exactly what I did. You can ask, literally all my cousins, friends, everyone knows me for literally doing that move. And I was not familiar that everyone else actually did that. I was like, I'm the only one that used to do that. I thought I was nice, but not. And so that, it goes back to what you guys were saying earlier, was it really draws us together. It shows us how really close we are than what we really know we are.
Yeah.
And so to be here to talk about somebody that we feel really close, and me as a journalist being able to cover him every now and then thinking back to when I first met him at the age of 16 in 1996 at the Cal State Long Beach Pyramid. It was a celebrity basketball game me and Dre were talking about prior to the show. And wow, just to think that Kobe was 17.
You were there at that game.
I was there at the game.
I was the public address announcer for that game.
And how ill is that? And
Kobe was 17.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was only 21. Wow. Don't want to hear it, Bobo. Moving right along. From KJLH. This had to be a great night because it brought employees back to work tonight. Look, he works with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Bobo, Mr. Aaron Arnell is here. Hey, Bo.
How you doing, man?
This brother is the biggest Laker fan and Kobe fan in the world. So I know you're still heartbroken, and I know you want to be a part of this celebration tonight.
To be honest, man, since that day, this is the first day that I haven't had something Kobe related on, and that's only because I had some stuff I had to take care of later today. But I'm still hurting, man. Like, it's still in disbelief. I literally, on my way here, was on the phone with my son, and every time I talk, he just asked me, "You okay, Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, that was Dad's hero. Like, you have Naruto, Dad had Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Just his drive and his ambition, his never wanting to lose, that mentality, the Mamba mentality, man, is something that you can put in every aspect of life, whether it's sports, entertainment, work, school, family, just that never give up, that desire to win mentality is something that I've always modeled myself by, and I never knew where it came from until he started talking about it more. And it's just, it's still one of those things that don't seem real, Dre.
Yeah, I know. Silas, you knew him, man, and you did a lot of work with him. What was he like away from the court?
I think, and it's just that in that early part, and I think even when we think about things now, and in the process of saying, okay, understanding the Mamba mentality, I think for me, the thing that I'm carrying the most is that the girl dad, the hashtag girl dad. Because I think whatever we saw between his professional career, what we saw was a family man until the end.
Right.
That's amazing to me. Like, we can say whatever we want. We said, but at the end of his days, he was being a dad.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I carry. Like, I carry the memories of the 60-point game, the drop in 81. I think we all have those. But I think as men and as fathers, that's what we really
I was
carry.
about to say, you're a father. You're soon to be a father.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I was
sir.
going to say, he made us want to step our game up.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
I'm not even a dad, but dang, I want to be a daddy like him.
I gotta get a clothing line for little Bobo, Bobo Jr. He had Mamacita. I gotta get a Bobo Jr. something. I don't know. He just was the epitome of what a man should be. You know what I mean? Like, he took care of his family, took care of his kids, was a hard worker. The kids understood, hey, I'm dad, but you got to understand dad is Kobe Bryant too. And Kobe Bryant is what allows you to enjoy, being a kid and doing stuff.
And you saw him evolve.
Yeah.
That was
grow up.
one of the, we saw him as a kid, literally. And I can remember when I was his age. But to see him grow up and evolve into this, literally the butterfly effect. I mean, he made mistakes, and then he fixed them, and he reconciled his differences with Shaq and all those things. It's just that takes a real man to be able to stand up to somebody. And, they were really close, and people had no idea. And Shaq went on an interview with Kobe. He interviewed him, and he said, bro, that was really my fault. 60% of that, I was just doing it just for the media attention.
Yeah. DJ Mark is standing by, and Cedric Hollywood. They're going to mix it up the rest of your Friday night. We started this at 6. It doesn't feel like I've been here 4 hours. It was amazing. We had some amazing guests today. And I want you guys each one of you to complete this sentence. And this is what I ask a lot of people today, a lot of the guests. Complete this sentence. Kobe Bryant was
a great dad.
Kobe Bryant was.
He was Kobe. He was Kobe.
Kobe Bryant was
my favorite superhero, and he'll always live forever.
Wow. Jay Ticker, thanks for joining us today. Tell folks how they can keep up with what you do, man.
Of course, guys, you can always find me on Instagram at JTicker and at The Real J Ticker and at The Ticker Report. I have 3 Instagram pages. Everything on Twitter, Facebook, same thing, at JTicker. That's JAYTICKER.
You think you bet he got a bunch of names. He's Bobo. He's Aaron someday.
Man, I don't know what I am, man. I've been working here. I started off as Bobo.
Word.
Dre was like, you know what? It's time to grow up. You got to be Aaron. But then the next day I get a call, hey, Bobo, what you doing?
Right.
dude, who am I? What am I?
You love Kobe. You're a Kobe lover.
That's it.
That's what you are.
You can follow me on Instagram at Aaron Arnell, and that's ARRON, Aaron Arnell, and Twitter as well. You can find all my stuff like that. And listen in the mornings as I get on the day Lamar's nerves.
Yeah. And if you're looking for an amazing manager or somebody, if you want an amazing manager and you're in entertainment, holla at Silas White. Tell them how, man.
At Silas, SILAS 522. That's Instagram. I don't have any fancy names, no nicknames, no nothing. I just do the work.
Name some of your clients now.
I'm trying.
You still got Greg Jennings from the Packers?
Greg Jennings.
Bobo, excuse me.
Chauncey.
There we go.
Bobo, I'm doing it up. Me and Bobo gonna sign something.
Speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Look, thanks to Lawrence Tanner, the great public address announcer of the Lakers. What did he say, for 37 years?
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? Maya Hassan, who was here representing the ladies and what we know is going to become of the WNBA and women's basketball because of Kobe and Gigi. Thanks to Damon Haley, formerly of Nike, who did so many things. Nick Hamilton with NBC and Fred Rogan. Of course, to you, Jay, to you, Silas, to you, Bobo, to Gary George, who joined us earlier from the IE, to my man Byron Scott, who was in here and really just always there when we need him. Inglewood's other finest, Reggie Theus, thank you for being here. Dr. William Parham from the NBA Players Association. Derek Richardson, he's a current NBA ref, and he came in here to shout out. You know what I mean? He's not a former ref, he's a current ref.
Yeah.
Also to Derek Fisher, who represented, he was our first guest today. AC Green, the Iron Man, thank you to you. Mark Spears and J.A. Adande, both from ESPN and The Undefeated. Jim Hill, the one and only, the legend, the Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Hollins, thank you for being with us, brother. The great Jim Clemens, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time, in my opinion. The greatest assistant coach of all time,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
say that.
Oh, yeah.
Because Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant both said this guy was the reason for their development.
Yeah.
Tracy Murray, the great shooter, thank you for being with us. The one and only big game James Worthy was with us, ladies and gentlemen. And the one and only Sean Powell, who you just heard a moment ago from USA Today and NBA TV. Stu Lance, you're talking about another legend.
Come on.
How long has he been the Lakers colored guy? Since probably
Kobe
about
started.
as long as since Lawrence
Kobe
Tanner.
started.
It probably,
Well, it's been about 25 years, I think, yeah.
I think Stu's been longer than that.
He just said it the other day.
Stu was there in the 80s, right?
Was he?
Yeah.
So 30 years.
Yeah.
Come on, Bobo Aaron.
See? I don't know who I am no more. We got this. No.
We got to go. Celebrating Kobe has been my honor to host. I'm Aundrae Russell. Today we honored and we pay tribute to a great father, a unique man, a creative force, a hardworking individual, and a person we'll all miss.
And Dre, thanks to you, brother, for putting this together. You, KJLH, Jam, Stevie, like, man, we can talk about legends, but you're one of those two.
Oh, man, I'm touched. I'm humbled. That just gave me chills, Silas, because I want to thank Stevie and Elston and Karen and Jam and all the great management here at the station and all the great announcers I work next to that help us do things like this, like Tammy Mack and Kevin Nash and Ade, Dominique DePrima, Lon McHugh, all of them. And we got some great ones that's going to